welcome back to the channel. So today we're working on something a little bit different than normal. We're going to do an oil change on our 2017 Grand Sport Corvette. Just turned 156,000 miles, and this is a dry sump engine, so the oil change is a little bit different than a standard oil change. Let's get started. Step one of the oil change is to admire the beautiful 460 horsepower LT1 V8. Step two is to loosen the cap on the oil tank, which you'll find over here on the passenger side. Next up, we'll go underneath. So here's a look at the bottom of the engine. There's actually two drain plugs. There's one here on the front and there's one here on the side. We're gonna start with the one on the front, let this drain, and then we'll start the second one. There's no real reason to that other than our drain pan's not big enough to catch them both at the same time. All right, now that the front one is mostly drained, go ahead and put the plug back in, just finger tight. And we'll move over to the second drain plug. And now that we're down to just a drip on the second drain plug, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the first one. And we'll just let them both drain. And again, the only reason I'm doing it like this is because our drain pan is only big enough to kind of catch one at a time, unless they're just dripping like this, then it can catch them both. And we'll let that drain for a few minutes. All right, so we're down to just a drip. We're gonna go ahead and replace the plugs. We are using a couple of brand new plugs here. It's been, probably at least 5 or 6 oil changes since these plugs were replaced, and they do have a little rubber seal in them. And these are pretty cheap if you buy them from Rock Auto or even the dealer. So we're gonna go ahead and replace those with new plugs. And we'll just snug these up. You don't have to go too crazy tightening it. That should do it. And that should do it there. Next up, we'll remove the oil filter. So I'm just using a generic pair of oil filter pliers for this job. And we'll let that drain for a minute. All right, so we've cleaned up the sealing surface of the oil filter. So we've got that all cleaned up, got all of the old oil wiped off. We've got a brand new oil filter here, so we're using a Wix filter, and we've applied just a thin film of fresh oil on the O-ring of that new filter, and that's ready to install. And I'll just put this on by hand. So there's no reason to go too crazy tight with these. Just about as tight as you can get it with your hand. And that should do the trick. So as called for on the cap, we're gonna use a Mobil 1 5W30. And this engine holds 9.8 quarts. So we're using the 5-quart jugs. So we'll dump the entire first one in, and then just hold back a tiny bit in the second one. Yes, the cap's on, the filter's on, the plugs are in, and we put a bunch of oil in. Okay, so We've run the engine, let it warm up, we've shut it down. You're supposed to wait about 5 to 10 minutes and then check the oil level on a level surface. There is a little dipstick here on the oil tank. So we'll pull that up, take a look. So you can see that the bottom hole for hot is filled with oil. The top hole for hot is not filled with oil. You can kind of see right there where the oil is, kind of right between the top and bottom hole. So that's perfect. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this project, please like the video. And if you want to see more projects on this car, comment below and let us know what you want to see. Thanks for watching.